Overreaction Monday with Rich Eisen. He talks the Saints and this whole Tyler Shough, Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener situation. All right, so we're going to listen to what they have to say here. Now, this segment is the overreaction. Okay, so they're going to say a hot take, if you will. So it's already hot. Okay, so the take itself is hot. Remember that, and we're going to react along the way.
While I think this team should be calling a certain California coastal resident, I think Tyler.
Okay, hold on. Have you noticed a trend? The copy and paste. What's the immediate reaction from everybody? Either one, Saints should call Aaron Rodgers, or two, the Saints should have drafted Shedeur Sanders. It really is amazing. It really is amazing how it's just the same kind of narrative from all different hombres, which, the Saints should not call Aaron Rodgers, and the Saints should not have drafted Shedeur Sanders.
Shough has taken the Saints to the playoffs.
That's total overreaction. Come on, pal. Get out of here.
They still have the weapons. They got Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara.
All right, so this now, it's going to sound like I'm working myself into a shoot, and I might be shooting myself into a work, but stay with me. It is not crazy to think that the Saints could battle for the playoffs. It's not crazy to think the Saints could be in that 9-win conversation. That 9-win conversation would get you in the conversation with competing for the division, okay? Now, the reason I say that has nothing to do with Tyler Shough or Spencer Rattler is the fact that the Saints have under the radar improvements across the board. What do I mean by that? Look at the injuries. You have to look at the injuries, all right? Eric McCoy, huge upgrade at center. Even though he was on the roster last year, he didn't play. Okay, Alvin Kamara, huge upgrade over Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Kendra Miller and Jordan Mims. Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, huge upgrades over Dante Pettis, MVS, Stone Cold Kevin Austin. I mean, we all know, right? You have to factor those guys in. Then you factor in Dennis Allen ain't there. All right, Dennis Allen had us on, a 7-game losing streak before we got fired in Carolina? Dennis Allen's not there. The upgrade from Kellen Moore, or from Dennis Allen to Kellen Moore. Then you have to factor in just the fact that we have a consistent team, a consistent coaching staff, a consistent vision, a consistent voice. We don't have Dennis Allen, then we have Aaron Rizzi, then we've got this, then we get, there was so much turmoil, there was so much toxicity, there was so much just up and down. Who's the quarterback this week? This week is Derek Carr. Oh, he's hurt. Now it's Spencer Rattler. Oh, now it's Jake Haener. Oh, that didn't work out. Now it's Spencer Rattler again. Oh, Connor McGovern's the center. Oh, now Lucas Patrick's the center. There was too much happening. All that, and they still win 5 games. Okay? So let's say that you take everything we just talked about, all the injuries, all the upgrades, all the new coaches, the whole thing, and you say that's 2.5 wins. All right? So let's say baseline the Saints are probably a 7.25, 7.5-ish win team, which lines up with the win projection. Win projection is at 6.5. So if we say over, okay, it lines up. But now let's say Tyler Shough or Spencer Rattler or whoever is better than we think. Quarterback's most important position in sports. All right? Let's say they take a step and either Shough is that damn good or Rattler takes a step, whatever, and we get above average quarterback play. And let's say that adds another win or 2 wins. That's how you get in that 8.5, 9.5 conversation. If you are in that conversation, you can make the playoffs. Do I expect all that to happen? No, but I don't think it's insane. I don't think it's insane to think that the Saints could be a team that take a huge jump this year because it was kind of a perfect storm last year.
Good defense. Cam Jordan's still there.
Hey,
Kellen Moore offense.
Why? It drives me. It shouldn't drive me crazy, but it drives me crazy when the first thing people say are like, "Oh, well, Cam Jordan's there." It's like, he hasn't been a tried and true starter for 3 years.
As a head coach, we've seen what he's done at every stop along the way.
I love a
Dallas,
good
Los
magic
Angeles,
carpet story, just like
Philly.
anybody else. I love a magic carpet story, just like anybody else.
Most pro-ready quarterback in the draft.
A New Orleans Superdome magic carpet ride story. As we all know, Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl in that building.
Yeah.
Magic carpet ride over the quarterback who had the greatest magic carpet ride maybe in the history of the National Football League.
Big Kurt.
And Kurt Warner, I understand you never say never in this league, but overreaction.
Same.
Look, again, I'm not saying we should be buying, stock in the Saints winning the South. I'm not saying that we should be buying stock in the Saints to win a playoff game or host a playoff game or be a 10-win team or you go over 500. But it is not insane to look at the roster, look at the coaching staff, see what happened last year, and then you catch lightning in a bottle. This is not exactly murderer's row as far as the division. The NFC South is all kind of bottled up. Would I be shocked if the Falcons took a step forward and won 9 games? No. Would I be shocked if the Panthers took a step forward and won 9 games? No. Just like I wouldn't be shocked with the Saints, because there is a lot of volatility with these teams. There's a lot of unknown with these teams. We know just as much about Michael Penix as we do about Spencer Rattler, as we do about Bryce Young, as we do about Tyler Shough. Okay? So the idea that, oh yeah, this team will take a jump, this team will take a jump. The only real true known team we have in the South is the Bucs. And even at their best, what are the Bucs? 10-win team? Something like that? So I think every team in the South, between the Panthers and the pseudo progression that Bryce Young made last year, the Falcons with all their playmakers and Michael Penix instead of Kirk Cousins, the Saints obviously with all these, because they're kind of new players. They kind of are new additions, all the healthy players. Kellen Moore and all that. I think each team has reason to be hopeful in the South. And until we start playing football, I don't think it's insane for any of those teams to believe they can get to that 9-ish win threshold.
Saints, Panthers, not scaring anybody.
Yeah.
Bucs, sure, they've won the division a few years
Yeah.
in a row.
Okay.
I just think, look out for Shough.
Okay. I'm high on him too. But I don't think there's any in between. It's either going to be
Awesome or terrible.
what you just said,
Yeah.
or time for Arch Manning to consider, does he want to play for his grandfather's franchise?
I do think there is some validity to the idea that it's either going to work or it's not going to work. Like this, I could see that. I could see where it's either going to be sweet and the Saints are rolling and Tyler Shough is the offensive rookie of the year and Kellen Moore has his team moving, or bad news bears. Another interesting exercise to do is, let's say the Saints do get Aaron Rodgers. Okay? Just bear with me. Let's say they do get Aaron Rodgers. I guarantee you the narrative would be the Saints can win the South. I guarantee you the narrative would be, well, Kellen Moore with Aaron Rodgers and blah, blah, blah. We've seen what Kellen Moore has done with this quarterback and that quarterback and Aaron Rodgers, chip on his shoulder. Maybe this is a surprise team. I 100% guarantee you that. But really, how much better is the last version of Aaron Rodgers we saw than what the Saints have? We don't know, right? It's a total unknown. It's a total unknown what you would get with Aaron Rodgers. The Jets got absolutely nothing. The Jets got worse productivity than Zach Wilson. Okay? So let's say if you get Aaron Rodgers, you are hoping for above average quarterback play as best case scenario, because his elite days are behind him, his great days are behind him. Is it insane to think that Kellen Moore can get above average quarterback play out of Tyler Shough or Spencer Rattler, whoever wins the competition? No. So if it's not impossible, then until we see it, like Rich says, until we see it spectacularly fail, which it could, until we see that happen, and we'll be the first one to admit it. Trust me, it will not take long. I 100% do believe that you will know one way or the other if there's something there. And I don't mean like, I don't mean like the first game we see Tyler Shough, that's all he's going to be. But if Tyler Shough is the starter, that means he beat out Rattler, which means Rattler, didn't do enough to get the job. But if we see Shough and he's just viable and he can just exist and he doesn't look overwhelmed and the game's not too fast for him and he's making throws and he's comfortable, sure, there's going to be rookie mistakes. Sure, there's going to be developmental things going on. But if he doesn't look like it's too much for him right off the bat, I think we're fine. That's the one thing you got to dodge. Same thing with Bryce Young. Right off the bat, you could tell Bryce Young was overwhelmed, physically overwhelmed. The game was too fast for him, couldn't make the throws, and it was ugly. It was really, really ugly. And it took a couple of years, and it took Andy Dalton to settle things down for Bryce. And now he's got a chance. Rattler, as bad as it was for Rattler, you could tell off the bat that it wasn't too fast for him. You could tell that, hey, he's okay in there. Conversely, you could tell immediately when the first drive, you can go back on my tweeting from the Superdome, that first drive, I said, I've seen enough. All right, I've seen enough. You can just tell. You can just tell when, they're in too deep. And as long as we're not in too deep with Shough or Rattler, I have faith in Kellen Moore. I think the cast of characters is good enough that I think this team is going to be somewhere in that 7-win world baseline. And yeah, you get lighting in a bottle. Why not? Am I expecting it? Again, no. But I don't think it's insane. I do not think it's insane that this team will look better than the Saints that we saw last year. And if they look better than the 5-win team last year, I'll take it. All right. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.